Have you ever been on the edge, feeling like you're about to explode in a heated argument? We've all experienced those moments, whether it's a showdown at work, a blow-up with someone we care about, or a fierce online debate. But imagine if there was a way to navigate these fiery conflicts without lashing out, without losing control. The ancient Stoics, masters of emotional resilience and razor-sharp logic, have left us with powerful strategies to confront our adversaries with unwavering calm and dignity. In this article, you'll uncover 13 Stoic-inspired techniques to face conflict head-on, inspired by the profound wisdom of thinkers like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. These methods may demand more patience and grit than simply giving in to anger, but the rewards, inner peace, lasting solutions, and potentially life-changing relationships are worth every ounce of effort. So, are you ready to tackle conflict like a true Stoic warrior? Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our videos that delve into Stoic wisdom for overcoming life's toughest challenges. Remember, your greatest victory isn't about conquering others, it's about mastering the storm within your own mind and heart. Number 1, delve into the depths of your adversary. To resolve conflicts in the spirit of Stoicism, the first step is to deeply understand your adversary. This doesn't mean prying into their personal life, but rather making an effort to see their motivations, fears, and perspectives. For example, if you're in a heated debate with a colleague about a project at work, instead of immediately reacting to their criticism, pause and ask yourself, what's making them respond so strongly? Maybe they're anxious about the project deadline, or perhaps they've had similar experiences in the past that didn't go well. As Marcus Aurelius advised, we should take a moment to consider what might be driving the other person's actions. In tense debates, it's easy to focus on the words being said rather than the underlying emotions. However, by practicing Stoic empathy, we shift our focus from external factors to internal ones. Ask yourself, why is this person upset? What past experiences might be influencing their behavior? Epicurus reminded us that it's not the events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. For example, during a disagreement with a close friend over a misunderstanding, instead of getting angry about what they said, try to understand that they might be under pressure from work or family, which could be causing them to overreact. By applying this principle, you can begin to see the situation from their point of view. This requires moving beyond immediate actions to identify deeper issues by asking open-ended questions like, what led you to feel this way? Or, is there something that's worrying you? You encourage the other person to share their feelings and experiences. This not only helps you gain a deeper understanding of their perspective, but also creates an opportunity for empathy. Seneca taught that empathy isn't about agreeing with someone's viewpoint, but about understanding and respecting it. For instance, if a family member reacts strongly to a decision you made, instead of arguing back, try to put yourself in their shoes to understand why they feel uneasy. This understanding can lead to more thoughtful and effective responses, turning conflicts into opportunities for connection and resolution. At the same time, this process is also an opportunity for self-reflection, allowing you to identify your own triggers and improve how you manage them. Understanding both your adversary and yourself helps you achieve the inner peace and emotional resilience that Stoicism aims for. For example, when you realize that your anger in a situation stems from personal fatigue or stress, you can learn to better control and adjust your emotions, ultimately improving the quality of your relationships. Number 2, choose your battles wisely. Life is full of disagreements, from major political debates to minor arguments in parking lots. But according to Stoic philosophy, not every issue is worth our full attention. Imagine you're in an argument over who gets to park where. If you get involved in every conflict, no matter how small, you'll quickly find yourself emotionally drained. That's why the second Stoic tactic is to carefully choose the battles you want to engage in. Picture yourself standing on a vast battlefield where every disagreement and every point of contention could potentially turn into a conflict. A wise Stoic would pause and consider whether the battle is truly worth fighting. For example, if a neighbor complains about how you mow your lawn, ask yourself, is arguing with them really worth my time and energy? Does this issue affect my health or the things that truly matter to me? The principles of Stoic philosophy can help you determine when to fight and when to let go. First, take a moment to pause and think. As Seneca said, the best remedy for anger is delay. For instance, if someone interrupts you in a meeting, instead of immediately reacting, pause, take a deep breath and think, is this really important? Will reacting right now actually benefit me? This pause can help you stay calm and make wiser decisions. Next, ask yourself, does this really matter? As Epictetus said, it's not the event itself that upsets us, but our interpretation of it. For example, if someone criticizes you for a small mistake at work, consider whether this criticism has a significant impact on your career or life, or if it's just a minor annoyance that you can let go of. If it's not truly important, it might be best to move on and focus on what really matters. Additionally, recognize the power of letting go. Marcus Aurelius taught that sometimes the wisest course of action is to do nothing. For example, if someone provokes you with unreasonable comments, instead of reacting, think about staying silent and letting it pass. Sometimes ignoring small slights or deciding not to engage in pointless arguments is the best way to maintain your inner peace. Finally, conduct a cost-benefit analysis for each conflict. Every conflict has a cost, both in terms of mental effort and the potential outcomes. For example, if you're in a heated debate with a colleague over a minor detail in a project, ask yourself, is winning this argument really worth the emotional and mental energy it will cost me? Am I losing more than I'm gaining? Sometimes, the true strength lies in knowing when to walk away with dignity. Remember, strategically choosing your battles doesn't mean you're weak or indifferent. It's about recognizing that your time and energy are limited and using them wisely. By applying these Stoic principles, you can navigate life's conflicts more wisely, saving your strength for the moments that truly matter. Number 3, speak with calm and clarity. When facing conflict, emotions can easily take over, leading us to say things that hurt others and escalate the situation. However, in the spirit of Stoicism, rather than letting emotions control us, we should remain calm and choose our words carefully to promote understanding and resolve issues. For example, if you find yourself in an argument with a close friend about weekend plans, instead of immediately dismissing or criticizing their ideas, listen to them carefully without interrupting. This active listening shows respect and helps you better understand why they hold those opinions, which can diffuse tension and open the door for a more constructive discussion. When it's your turn to speak, rather than placing blame, use I statements to express your feelings and needs. For instance, saying, "I feel disappointed when we don't make decisions together," is more effective and less likely to make the other person defensive than saying, "You always impose your ideas." This approach makes it easier for the other person to hear you, reduces tension, and sets the stage for finding solutions together. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of maintaining a calm demeanor in all situations. Suppose you're in a disagreement with a family member about household expenses. Instead of letting emotions get the best of you and saying hurtful things, try to keep a calm and confident tone. This not only helps you stay firm in your views, but also makes the other person feel more secure and willing to cooperate. Instead of focusing on the negative aspects, steer the conversation towards finding solutions. For example, rather than saying, "Your spending habits are too wasteful," Try suggesting, "What can we do to better manage our family's finances?" This shifts the discussion from confrontation to collaboration, helping both sides work together to find a practical solution. Additionally, remember that your reaction is entirely within your control. When someone criticizes or offends you in a conversation, rather than reacting immediately, take a deep breath and remind yourself that you have the power to choose your response. This brief pause allows you to think carefully and respond more wisely. Finally, don't hesitate to use humor to lighten the mood. Imagine you're at a family gathering and a member makes an unpleasant remark. You can ease the tension with a light joke or by poking fun at yourself. However, ensure that your humor is inclusive and doesn't hurt anyone. Instead, it should help create a comfortable and positive environment for communication. This way, you not only reduce tension, but also foster an atmosphere where everyone feels heard and respected. Number 4. Seek the shared path. Imagine two climbers starting their journey on separate paths, each heading towards a different peak. However, as they continue their ascent, they gradually realize that their paths begin to converge, leading to a shared summit where understanding and cooperation shine. This image is particularly fitting to describe the fourth strategy in seeking solutions without confrontation, finding common ground. This concept reflects the Stoic spirit of living in harmony with the natural order. While disagreements often create the impression that our ideals or goals are incompatible, Stoics encourage us to look deeper beneath the surface to uncover the hidden connections that we share, even if they are not immediately apparent. By focusing on these common interests, we can build a foundation for cooperation and compromise, leading to more harmonious outcomes. To begin the journey of finding common ground in the Stoic way, we must first shift our perspective from individual to collective. Instead of viewing conflict as a you versus me confrontation, see it as a joint effort to achieve a shared goal. Ask yourself, what do we ultimately want? This shift in perspective can help reveal points of agreement that may not have been obvious at first. Next, it's important to uncover the underlying needs. Conflicts often arise from unmet needs. Consider the needs that both parties are trying to fulfill through the conflict. It could be a need for safety, respect, or recognition. Understanding these needs can foster empathy and make it easier to find solutions that address them. Simultaneously, exploring shared values is crucial. Our actions are often guided by core values. Look beyond the immediate issue to discover the principles that both sides hold dear, such as honesty, fairness, or compassion. These shared values can act as a moral compass, guiding you towards decisions that align with your beliefs. In this process, start with small agreements. Instead of expecting to reach consensus on everything immediately, focus on achieving small agreements, even if they seem insignificant. These initial agreements can build trust and momentum, making it easier to tackle more complex issues. Finally, recognize that cooperation is a long journey that requires patience. Finding common ground can take time, so be patient and understanding. Acknowledge small achievements, accept challenges, and remember that every step toward cooperation is a step away from conflict. By recognizing the connections between your experiences and laying the foundation for a more harmonious future, you will find common ground. Remember, those who journey together, guided by shared values and interests, will ultimately reach the peak of understanding. Number 5. Appeal to their inner values. Imagine you are trying to steer a large boat through a fast-flowing river. You can't simply fight against the current. Instead, you need to skillfully use the flow of the water to guide the boat in the right direction. Similarly, rather than directly confronting someone's viewpoint, you can influence them by aligning with the deep-seated values and beliefs they hold. First, you need to understand the current of their values. This requires careful listening and observation, paying attention to what they praise or criticize, and gaining insight into their value system. For example, if they often emphasize the importance of honesty and integrity, these values are likely central to them. Once you've grasped their values, find where your goals and theirs might intersect. Even if your perspectives seem opposed, there are usually underlying principles that both sides share, such as respect, responsibility, or justice. Highlighting these shared values in your discussions creates a sense of common purpose and builds a bridge of understanding. When presenting your arguments, use language that resonates with the values they hold dear. This isn't about manipulation, it's about genuine alignment. If you know they value loyalty, frame your points in a way that shows how your approach supports and upholds this value. This makes your arguments more compelling because they see that your solution aligns with their core beliefs. Marcus Aurelius taught that we should live in harmony with nature, including human nature. By connecting with someone's inner values, you are aligning with their nature, which reduces resistance and fosters a more cooperative atmosphere. Furthermore, actions speak louder than words, demonstrating through concrete actions that your approach genuinely reflects their values is even more powerful. Show them through specific behaviors that your method truly respects and upholds the values they care about. This builds trust and makes them more likely to accept your viewpoint. Throughout the process, it's important to maintain a tone of respect and empathy. Even when you disagree, acknowledging and respecting their values can help ease tensions and open the door to constructive dialogue. Stoicism teaches us that everyone has a unique perspective shaped by their experiences and values. By respecting this individuality, we can find common ground even in the most challenging conflicts. Number 6. Using humor wisely in conflict resolution. Imagine you're cooking on a large, open flame. The fire can flare up if you don't control the heat, but if you know how to manage it, you can use that fire to create a delicious meal. In conflict resolution, humor is like a special seasoning. If added at the right moment and in the right amount, it can ease tension and create a more pleasant atmosphere for conversation. A well-timed joke or a bit of light-hearted wit is like adding just the right amount of salt to a dish, helping to release pent-up stress and opening the door to understanding. However, it's important to remember that humor is a delicate seasoning, and if used carelessly, it can ruin the entire dish. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, humor is fragile and can easily turn into an insult if not handled properly. So, before you sprinkle humor into the conversation, make sure you understand the taste of your audience. This requires careful observation and listening to figure out what they enjoy and what topics might be sensitive. A joke that makes one person laugh might offend another, so it's crucial to consider your approach carefully. The goal of humor is to create connection and shared joy, not to belittle others. Self-deprecating humor is often a safer choice because it shows humility and a willingness to acknowledge one's own flaws. Timing is also key. If the situation is highly tense, like a fire burning too hot, it's better to wait until things have cooled down before adding the humor seasoning. Avoid jokes about sensitive subjects, stereotypes, or personal attacks. Humor can be a helpful tool in resolving conflicts, but it shouldn't replace sincere communication or addressing important issues. Don't expect humor to be a magical fix. Use it as a way to lighten the mood and encourage openness. Remember, it's easier to build trust than to rebuild it after a mistake, including a misused joke. When used correctly, humor can become a powerful tool for building relationships, reducing tension, and creating space for conflict resolution. The power of laughter lies in its ability to connect people, and when used appropriately, it can turn tense situations into opportunities for understanding and resolution. Number 7. Offer empathy. When you find yourself in the midst of a conflict, the first step to showing empathy is like pausing to adjust the lens of a camera, shifting the focus from yourself to the other person. This requires you to fine-tune your perspective so you can clearly see their emotions and understand the reasons behind them. Just like stepping into their shoes to get a clearer view of the bigger picture, empathy doesn't mean you have to agree with them, but it means you appreciate their viewpoint and the experiences that have shaped it. Active listening in this situation is like adjusting the brightness of a photo to highlight the important details. You need to give your full attention to the speaker, not just hearing their words, but also paying attention to their body language, tone, and emotions. Avoid interrupting and resist the urge to immediately offer solutions or counter-arguments. Instead, acknowledge their feelings as if you're enhancing the colors to bring out the most crucial parts of the picture. Statements like, "I understand that you're feeling frustrated," or "It sounds like this situation is really important to you," are like sharpening the details in the image, showing that you value their emotions and are genuinely interested in understanding them. Seneca taught that empathy is the path to tempering our reactions, much like dimming harsh light to achieve a clear and balanced photo. By focusing on the emotions of others, we can manage our own responses and approach conflicts with greater calm and rationality. This not only helps build trust, but also opens channels of communication, making it easier to find common ground and work towards a resolution. Another important aspect of empathy is recognizing the other person's experience, similar to acknowledging all the elements in a picture. This involves understanding why they feel the way they do and showing that you respect their experience, even if you don't necessarily agree. Empathy also requires patience and humility, as conflicts often stem from deep-rooted issues that can't be resolved quickly. Just like capturing a beautiful photograph takes time and careful adjustments, showing empathy means committing to listening and engaging in an ongoing dialogue to understand and address their concerns. Practicing empathy aligns with the Stoic principle of living in harmony with others, much like finding the perfect balance in a photo to create a harmonious composition. Epictetus advised that we should strive to understand the behavior and motivations of those around us, seeing their actions as reflections of their nature and circumstances. By approaching conflicts with empathy, we create an environment where mutual respect and understanding can flourish. Moreover, showing empathy can help balance your own emotional state, like adjusting a photo to achieve a clearer and more beautiful image. It shifts the focus from self-centered reactions to a more compassionate and outward-looking perspective, reducing stress and fostering a sense of connection and cooperation even in challenging situations. Number 8. Embrace the art of compromise. Imagine you're trying to steer a boat through a powerful river. If you simply row against the current, you'll quickly exhaust yourself and risk losing control. Instead, a wiser strategy is to use the flow of the water and its direction to guide the boat safely to its destination. Stoic philosophy teaches us that rather than stubbornly resisting everything, we should learn to compromise and adjust to find balance. Rigid and absolute views rarely lead to successful conflict resolution. Epictetus said, "Seek not to have things happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and you will live a tranquil life." The ability to find solutions that not only address your concerns, but also meet the needs of the other person is a true sign of strength. To practice this art of compromise, start by shifting your perspective from me to we. View the conflict as a journey where both parties need to work together to steer the boat in the right direction, rather than a competition to see who is stronger. This change in perspective allows for more harmonious solutions and encourages creativity and problem solving. Look for common goals, even if they aren't immediately obvious. Consider the shared values that both sides care about, such as fairness, mutual respect, or the desire for a productive work environment. Identifying these common objectives sets the foundation for reaching a compromise. Next, set priorities and be willing to let go of things that aren't truly important. Not every aspect of the conflict carries the same weight, and sometimes, to keep the boat on course, you need to know when to let go of the minor things. This enables you to focus on the core issues and find solutions that both parties can agree on. Seek out a win-win solution. Instead of trying to win every point, aim for a resolution where both sides feel their needs are acknowledged and partially met. In the long run, this reduces tension and fosters a sense of fairness. Remember, this journey isn't just about reaching the destination, but also about how we navigate along the way. Patience and flexibility are key. Just like steering a boat, you need to be ready to adjust and change course when unexpected currents arise or when new information becomes available. A lasting compromise requires open communication and a willingness to adapt. Practicing the Stoic art of compromise doesn't weaken your principles. Instead, it demonstrates strength, adaptability, and a commitment to finding solutions that work for everyone. You learn to live in balance, not in opposition, much like skillfully guiding a boat through a river, bringing peace and harmony to all involved. Number 9. Seek external aid without shame. Imagine yourself lost in a complex maze with paths intertwining and confusing turns, making it impossible to find your way out. Every time you try a new route, you feel even more trapped. This frustration mirrors the experience of being caught in a dispute where communication breaks down and every attempt to reach an agreement seems futile. However, Stoic philosophy reminds us that even in the most challenging situations, we don't have to navigate them alone. The 9th tactic emphasizes that seeking outside help is not a sign of weakness, but rather a testament to wisdom and commitment to finding a positive resolution. A mediator or counselor can act as a guide in this maze, helping you navigate the intricate paths of conflict. They are like someone holding a map, familiar with every twist and turn, and can lead the discussion in a controlled manner, ensuring that each side is heard and valued. Their expertise can help clarify the murky areas of communication, cutting through the emotional clutter that hinders progress. When we become entangled in strong emotions, our ability to communicate effectively is severely compromised. An objective guide can help untangle these emotional knots, fostering a more relaxed and productive atmosphere for conversation. They also help build a bridge of understanding between the parties, closing gaps and encouraging empathy. By guiding the discussion, they can ensure that all parties have the opportunity to voice their concerns and work together to find solutions. Counselors and mediators also provide the skills and techniques needed to better prepare you for future conflicts. They don't just help you find your way out of the current maze, but they also equip you with the tools to face future challenges. According to Stoic philosophy, asking for help is not a sign of weakness, but of wisdom, showing that you are committed to finding the best solution for everyone involved. In the end, seeking outside support not only helps you find a way out of the complex maze of conflict, but also reminds you that even in the toughest situations, you are never truly alone. This assistance can guide you to a peaceful and constructive outcome, helping both you and your opponent find the right path forward together. Number 10. Forgiveness. When we talk about forgiveness in a Stoic context, imagine that you are carrying a heavy backpack filled with rocks, each representing pain, anger, and resentment. Every rock is a painful memory or past grievance that you can't seem to let go of. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting these rocks or pretending they don't hurt. It's about choosing to open the backpack and gently place the rocks down. Forgiveness is the act of releasing this emotional burden, much like taking off that heavy backpack so you can continue your journey with lightness and freedom. By holding on to anger and resentment, you only make the backpack heavier, draining your energy and slowing you down. Anger and resentment not only sap your mental and emotional energy, but also lead to stress, anxiety, and a loss of inner peace. Forgiveness, like setting down those rocks, helps you reclaim that energy and redirect it toward more positive and productive pursuits. Practicing empathy and shifting your perspective is like stopping to look ahead on the path, rather than focusing on the weight of the rocks. By putting yourself in the shoes of those who have wronged you, you can gain a better understanding of why they acted the way they did. This doesn't mean excusing their actions, but it allows you to see them as flawed humans, not as villains. This shift in perspective can soften your anger and make it easier to let go. Forgiveness also involves keeping the lessons learned without carrying the burden of the rocks. Painful experiences can shape who you are, offering valuable insights into your values and boundaries. By holding on to the lessons instead of the pain, you can grow stronger and more resilient. Forgiveness isn't a one-time event, but a continuous process, like regularly checking your backpack to make sure you're not unknowingly adding more heavy rocks. Techniques like journaling, mindfulness, and meditation can help you release these emotional rocks, making your journey through life lighter and more manageable. Forgiving yourself is also crucial. Sometimes we are the ones who add the heaviest rocks to our own backpack, holding on to guilt and regret for past actions. But according to Stoic philosophy, everyone makes mistakes, and self-forgiveness is like removing those heaviest rocks, allowing you to move forward with greater ease and freedom. Remember, forgiveness is an act of strength, not weakness. It takes courage to let go of the heavy rocks of pain and anger and to choose peace over conflict. By practicing forgiveness, you not only lighten your load, but also demonstrate a deep understanding of wisdom, courage, and self-control, helping you continue your life's journey with inner peace and a lighter heart. Number 11. Growth from ashes of conflict. Imagine you're walking through a dense forest where every step could trip you up, with branches and roots hidden beneath the ground. Instead of seeing these obstacles as barriers in your way, consider them as opportunities to learn how to overcome challenges and grow stronger. Stoics encourage us to approach conflicts in a similar way. Rather than viewing conflicts as purely negative experiences, see them as challenges in the dense forest, opportunities to grow and discover more about yourself. The first step in this process is to shift your perspective, much like pausing to assess and find a better path through the forest. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? How can these challenges help me become more resilient and wise? Just like scanning your surroundings to find the right way forward, self-reflection is key to this growth process. Take the time to analyze the conflict and your role in it, as if you're retracing your steps in the forest. What triggered the disagreement? How did you react? And what could you have done differently? By understanding your actions and emotions, much like identifying the obstacles on your path, you can recognize what needs to be adjusted for you to improve. As you journey through this process, remember to practice self-compassion, just as you would take care of yourself when facing difficulties on the trail. Everyone makes mistakes, and conflict is a natural part of life. Epictetus taught that we should focus on what we can control, just like you can choose how to navigate challenges in the forest and accept what we cannot change. You can't control how others behave, but you can control your reactions and learn from your experiences. By being kind to yourself and acknowledging your efforts to grow, you create a positive environment for continuous self-improvement, much like finding a rest spot in the forest where you can continue your journey with renewed calm and resilience. Once you've reflected on the conflict, set specific goals for personal growth, just like identifying a new direction in the forest. This might involve improving your communication skills, developing greater emotional intelligence, or learning to manage stress more effectively. The Stoics believed in practical wisdom, akin to using survival skills in the forest, as the key to overcoming life's challenges. By setting and working toward these goals, you turn abstract reflections into concrete actions that help you grow. Additionally, engaging with others and seeking feedback is crucial, much like seeking guidance from those who have traveled the path before you. Discuss your reflections and goals with trusted friends, mentors, or colleagues who can offer perspectives and support. Their insights can provide new angles and help you see aspects you might have missed. This collaboration not only enhances your personal growth, but also strengthens your relationships, like building friendships during a journey, as it shows your commitment to improving and learning from your interactions. Finally, remember that patience and perseverance are essential on this journey. Much like walking through a forest requires time and effort. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to be patient and persistent, understanding that true change doesn't happen overnight. Celebrate your progress no matter how small, just as you would mark milestones in the forest, and stay committed to your path of self-improvement. Number 12. Setting boundaries. Imagine you are tending to your own small garden. This garden represents your mind and emotions, where you plant seeds of peace and happiness. But then someone steps into your garden, trampling on the young plants and disturbing the peace you've worked so hard to cultivate. Establishing boundaries and protecting your garden is what the 12th Stoic technique advises us to do. Epictetus reminds us that while we cannot control what others do, we can control how we respond. By clearly defining what we will and will not accept, much like putting up a fence around your garden, we can protect ourselves from negativity and maintain positive relationships. Before you put up the fence, it's important to understand your garden. What are your needs and values? You need to clearly identify what needs protection and what behaviors might harm the peace of your garden. Establishing these internal boundaries is like deciding which areas of your garden are the most important to protect. When communicating your boundaries, remember to use clear and respectful language, much like how you would inform others about your garden fence. Avoid vague statements or passive-aggressive behavior. Use I statements to clearly assert your needs and feelings, just like posting signs that clearly indicate what is and isn't allowed in your garden. Clarity and respect in communication are key to fostering cooperation and understanding. Once the fence is up, you need to be consistent in maintaining it. Don't let guilt or fear of conflict cause you to allow others to overstep your boundaries. This consistency is like taking care of the fence, ensuring it remains strong so that you gain respect from others and also show respect for yourself. However, be prepared for the fact that not everyone will easily accept your boundaries. You might encounter resistance from those who aren't used to you protecting your garden. Politely reiterate your boundaries and emphasize the importance of respecting your space. Establishing boundaries is not selfish. It's a way to protect your mental and emotional health, just like tending to your garden so it can thrive. Remember, boundaries are not rigid walls, but flexible fences that allow you to live a life of inner freedom, respect, and peace. It's an act of self-love, helping you keep your garden vibrant and healthy, and fostering more fulfilling and harmonious relationships in your life. Number 13. Remember, you control your reactions. Imagine you're playing a piece of music on a piano, and each key you press represents a different emotion or reaction. Sometimes, discordant notes sound when a key doesn't play as you intended. While you can't control the sound that comes from the piano, you can decide how to adjust your fingers to create more harmonious melodies. This image captures the essence of the 13th Stoic tactic, remembering that you are in charge of how you respond, not the events around you. Instead of letting the discordant notes throw you off, focus on adjusting your playing to produce more beautiful music. First, recognize the off-key notes, those emotions or situations that typically make you feel unsettled or angry. Just as you would identify a misplayed note, the first step in controlling your response is acknowledging these triggers. When faced with an unwanted sound, pause for a moment to adjust your tempo and finger pressure. Instead of reacting immediately to your emotions, create a space between the stimulus and your response. Just like taking a deep breath before playing the next note, this gives you time to observe and assess the situation calmly. Next, change the way you perceive the melody, not the fact that there are discordant notes. Sometimes, how we interpret a situation influences our emotions more than the event itself. Try to reconsider how you interpret that melody and focus on the harmonious parts rather than fixating on the off-key notes. Finally, choose your reaction deliberately, like considering how to press the keys before you play. You can decide whether to create a gentle, melodic sound or let your emotions take over and produce jarring notes. Just as practice makes you more proficient in music, learning to control your reactions takes time and effort. Each time you face a challenge and choose to respond appropriately, you're perfecting the music of your life. Real strength doesn't come from changing what the piano plays, but from adjusting your fingers to create the music you want to hear. This inner control not only brings peace, but also helps you navigate life's challenges with calmness and confidence. When facing pressure, make wise decisions and confront life's challenges with the steady calm of a Stoic sage. These Stoic-inspired methods can help you transform conflict from confrontation into an opportunity for learning, understanding, and finding inner peace. Remember, true victory isn't about defeating your opponent, but mastering your emotions and becoming a stronger, more confident version of yourself.